Allow yourself to relax as you focus internally. Become aware of your breath. And merge with it. Bring all your attention into it. And as you become your breath, explore the depth of your body. So when you inhale, your attention is on all those sensations. As your chest and your stomach expand and fill with air. And when you exhale, you experience that energy, that life force, as it leaves the body and enters the atmosphere. You are that life force. Realize yourself as that. That's the life force that has been carrying you ever since you left your mother's womb. And so come back to the simplicity of your nature, because in that simplicity there's the potential for so much complexity that it caused your entire life, your entire experience. You drew upon this simple, basic interaction with your environment, the breath. So as we close our eyes, not projecting the self into space, we return to the origin. And spiritually, we bring back our imagination from extending into the space of illusion, into the space of concept. That is our spiritual vision. So as we close our eyes, we limit our physical vision, and also spiritually we bring back our attention to limit our spiritual vision so that we can focus on the source. Who is viewing? The one who is viewing lives in the breath. He comes and he goes. He comes, he sees whatever he views, spiritually or physically, and then he leaves back into the atmosphere. And then another one comes, like the waves of the sea. Each one attempting to conquer what all the previous ones couldn't, only to understand that he will not succeed either, because there's nothing to conquer. The waves roll forward from the depths of the sea, and they each threaten the shore with the utmost certainty that nothing will break its momentum. And sure enough, as soon as it hits the shore, it just relaxes right back into the depth of the sea where it came from. The spirit lives in the waves of the breath. Each spirit coming to conquer reality, to master its environment, to regulate the body and the mind, and cause perfection to manifest. And then it meets reality. And then it releases itself. And the new spirit arrives. And so allow yourself to surrender to the depth of reality from where you came forth. The depth that cannot be contemplated and cannot be understood, and was never understood by no human ever. That's where you come from, and that's where you're going to. Surrender to that reality, because that reality is the reason for everything that works right. That depth, that truth, is the source of how you knew to design your organs. It's how you know in this moment what it means to be a heart and what it means to be a liver. Because if you didn't know, then you wouldn't be. And so surrender that source, because that's how safe you really are. You're as safe as the intelligence that designed you. Safe doesn't mean that your life will be the way that you think it should be. Safe doesn't even mean that there won't be pain or suffering in your experience. Safe means that whatever you're going to go through, after you understand what happened, you're going to agree much more deeply than you've ever agreed to anything, that this is exactly the way that it should have happened. And that's the safety. The one that designed you designed this. There is no one else. There can be no mistakes. There will be no surprises that will suddenly show that maybe the Creator forgot something. Those illusions can only reside in a mind that hasn't contemplated what it means to be in a mind, what it means to have trillions of cells create you as a thought. Someone who designs that cannot miss, not possible. And so you're safe. And because you're safe, you should be using all your energy to make things better on this precious planet. Because the one who is keeping you safe will reward you for every little detail that you do to help his world. It's his world. He loves it very much. He cares about every single detail. He cares about every individual. He cares about every single feeling, every single chemical that gets released from any of our organs. He knows them, he counts them, and he cares about every single one, and he's going to make this right. And the ones who help him make it right will be rewarded in a way that we can't imagine. If we gave the whole world to that person and they can be the king over the world and all the humans and the animals will serve them, it won't come close to one moment of reward for somebody who helps this world heal. Because this world is the crown jewel of all the worlds. The energy created here dictates what happens everywhere. And so bring your attention back to the simplicity that is you. Become your breath so you can forget some of your illusions. Take some time off from all the interpretations that cause you to assume that life is meaningless. So then you can realize that in no way is anything that happens in life meaningless. Everything has consequences and repercussions that never end. And therefore, life is sacred. A human being is sacred. Existence is sacred. Our words are sacred because they are the gods of the future. The way that we do, the way that we say, the way that we behave will cause reality to be a certain way tomorrow and the day after and for the rest of eternity. So the power that we have gives us tremendous leverage over our destiny. And we have to learn how to wield this power so that we build up the human spirit, so that the human spirit can have the dignity, the respect to overcome the obstacles in its way. To know that it deserves to overcome those obstacles. To know that life is too precious to be wasted. To know that everything that happens while we are in the body will be infinitely meaningful once we leave the body. Bring back all your attention, bring back all your energy, and unite with your nature. Unite with your potential. Try not to be anything so that you can later be everything. Whatever you are, whatever you believe yourself to be, freezes you as that. Don't believe yourself to be anything, so that you can see what is within your potential. And that potential is much more than anything you've ever dreamed of. Your mind was never developed enough to understand the joy that certain people experienced on this planet. Not because their life was easy, but because they understood a little bit of what it means. They had a little taste of who they're interacting with. And that brought light to their spiritual eyes. That made life make sense to them. And when life makes sense, the obstacles can always be overcome, because the human spirit can produce as much energy as it needs in order to overcome any obstacles. And this is obvious if you look at human history. Humans have gone through insanity, and somehow the spirit makes a story and causes itself to create the right chemicals so that it can overcome the circumstances. And that's just nature. That's how we were created to be. So don't be concerned about what type of circumstances you're going to have to face. Be concerned with the relationship you have to the source of that energy. If your relationship is good, the circumstances won't matter. If your relationship is bad, at the end of the day, the circumstances won't matter either. So come back to the simplicity of being you, the safety of being you, the certainty, the perfection. By simply realizing the magnificent power required to be human. It's a spiritual power. We might take it for granted while we have it. But if we can see with our spiritual eyes, then we'll know that it's the most valuable power in the world. It's the power that allows us to interact with reality. And it powers every single organ in our body. It powers the very nature of our heart to make us be the way that we are. It powers our brain to think the way that it thinks. And all these powers come together so we can produce speech, so we can produce a juice, a spiritual medium that allows for the life force that activates us to interact with other such life forces. The majesty of that power, the beauty for one who can see it, is brighter than anything the physical eyes can see. Any words the ear can listen to, because it's the very source of those things that we are discussing. All its experiences fail in comparison to the self that's experiencing all of them, creating them in the conceptual world based on various streams of information that are constantly flowing through its consciousness. So allow yourself to feel how precious you are. Allow yourself to understand while you can still act, while you can still do, while you can still become. Don't be distracted by the illusions. Don't be petty with life. Don't think you're so small that you can get busy with every little detail. Understand who you really are and how you should choose to spend your energy, how you should choose to spend this most precious opportunity. You can stay as yourself for as long as it feels comfortable, and continue coming back to being yourself, to being just the breath, just the awareness, without any interpretation, because that will make your potential available to you. So you don't stay locked in whatever random mindset life has presented to you through all kinds of contaminated sources of information. So bring yourself always back to the stillness. Close your physical eyes, close your spiritual eyes, and remember your nature, remember your potential, remember what you were designed for, and invest your energy in making this world more livable, in making this world more peaceful, in making this world more pleasurable, because the Creator personally promised that He will take care of those who help. And He is one that keeps His promise. He is one that never lies. He is one that you can rely on fully. Otherwise, it's not worth bothering with another breath. And so allow yourself access to yourself by becoming still, by returning, by remembering that your heart has a nature, and it's upon you, the intelligence, to figure out how to comply with that nature so that you can gain access to what you already have.